Welcome to Reading the Green and our golf DFS show. My name is Mike. Jordan, Kyle here live in our studio that we use like 3 times a year, and a guest face for us to start the show with before we get into all the good stuff, because this is going to be jam-packed. Bailey, my sister-in-law, but more importantly, a sports marketing manager from RSM. Bailey, you're on the ground at TPC Sawgrass?
I am, and it's 85 and hot here.
Nice.
It's 35 and hot here.
Yeah, I mean, basically the same thing this week. I mean, nothing bad's going to happen here weather-wise at all.
All right, so so you're there, you're there Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, March 7th, so you're there till Thursday. What do you do? You're not going to the golf tournaments. What are you doing?
Tuesday to Thursday, we're here. It's the PGA Tour's annual partner summit, so they bring title sponsors, OMPs, other marketing partners in every year. Got speakers, got panels on the docket for most of the morning tomorrow. I think we have a guy from Netflix who's going to talk to us about season 1 and the newly released or announced season 2 for next year. We have a player, which is yet to be announced, coming to speak to us. We don't know who. I'm sure there'll be questions about the new 24 schedule that they'll field and answer for designated versus regular field events. So jam-packed schedule for us, meeting with some players, had fun at the concert today for Military Appreciation Day, and spending some nice time with the team out here.
That sounds awesome. Who's the coolest, like the biggest name you've seen so far?
Oh gosh, they're everywhere. You look around and Maxwell over here, Jordan over there. So
that's awesome. What do you guys want to know?
I don't. No. We know Mike sent you on a swag mission to the merchandise tent today. Technically, they weren't supposed to go on sale until tomorrow, though. So if you're in there tomorrow and you see a gold oven mitt, that's what Mike's looking for.
Excellent. I will be on the lookout.
You told me that you asked 2 sales associates, and Jordan's like, well, tell her to ask someone. I'm like, Fred the volunteer does not know where the head covers are. All right.
Well, walked in. I'll have to send you the video of it. But the doors open and it's just bumping music, merch everywhere. It's insane. It was just madness today going in there. So our methodology of here's the pictures. Tell me what you want. I got the goods. We'll bring it home.
Oh yeah, well I'm sporting the player's hat you gave me last year, and I already have a sweet flamingo trucker hat on order here, so I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, and the merchandise tent sounds like a live golf event.
It does. It does. All right, Bailey, I'll let you go because I know you've had a long day. You just flew in this morning. Who's your pick for the tournament this week?
I mean, I got to go with Team RSM guy, Chris Kirk. He's been on a roll, but we did meet with Kurt today, and so maybe he'll have back-to-back wins. He was very excited to be here the first time out. I don't know if you guys saw his video of him and his caddy getting out of the car and setting foot here, just looking around. Where do I bring my clubs? Where do I go? What do I do? Just total bewilderment. And he's so excited to be here. It was really cute.
That's awesome. Well, I like Chris Kirk this week. I think he's charting pretty high on our model so far, so that's not a bad pick. He's had a nice year so far. But anyways, I look forward to hearing about it this weekend when I catch up with you. So have fun the rest of the week.
Very good. Thanks, guys.
All right, see ya.
Thanks, Bailey.
All right. Well, look at that. Like, who knew that like Players Championship is more than just about the golf tournament?
I got to know who that special player is.
Yeah,
James Hahn?
My bet's James Hahn.
Well, Kyle, do you have anything you want to start the show about James Hahn with?
No.
No.
We'll
move on. All right. So we got plenty. We got plenty because we're going to talk about we're going to obviously talk about the Arnie. We're going to talk about the Players Championship preview here. A couple of topics to get started. So Kyle wants to skip James Hahn, but maybe first, Kyle, any thoughts on Iowa women's basketball?
Caitlin Clark, come on. It's just unreal.
I haven't watched a single college women's basketball game, but
I did tune in so they beat Indiana the last regular season game. At the very end, she hit a 3 like off balance. It's pretty sweet. She's really good. It
sounds like it.
Worth checking out.
Is their coach unhinged like the Iowa men's basketball coach?
She gets a little heated up, not as high as him. And I sent this to you guys today, but he was Instagram famous in the golf world today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
that's right.
Praising-
Yeah,
Yeah,
he made a
praising-
Zaire. He made a
praising
Zaire.
Fran.
Zaire post. Yeah.
I haven't watched any Iowa men's basketball, but you guys keep texting about Fran McCaffrey.
Yeah,
and
the
he's been
team's actually
crazy.
pretty good, but Fran is a total batshit nutcase.
Well, they're pretty good if you like watching a lot of offense and no defense.
That's what makes good
Yeah,
basketball. That's
exactly.
like the NBA. But wait, so Kyle, how good is Iowa without her? Like a top 50 team? They're top 5 with her because she's an all-time player. But like if she has a cold day, they could lose to a 16 seed. Or no, or are they not that?
I don't think
mediocre?
a 16 seed, but I mean, they could definitely get upset. I can't claim I've watched a whole lot, so this is probably not. I'm probably not doing this justice, but hey, they were here. They were playing the tournament here this weekend. She won, and she's really good. So if you get a chance, check her out, Caitlin Clark. Like LeBron's tweeting about her. Everyone, like Alex Morgan was tweeting about her.
No. Nice.
All right. Well, I guess I'll have to tune in.
We're really reeling the people in.
Yeah.
with
All right.
Yeah.
We'll get past. There you go. There you go. Whatever.
Deadspin even had an article today. If you want to make money in sports right now, it's buying women's franchises.
Mm-hmm.
Their popularity
Can
is
we buy
going
the
up.
next Welcome to Wrexham, but a women's team?
No, the women's teams come free with the men's teams. There's a Wrexham women's team that Ryan Reynolds owns also.
Okay, well, so let's transition. We got two things we're gonna do. One, Kyle is going to fix the designated event format for next year. So we're gonna start with that.
Okay.
And in the meantime, I'm gonna tee up my on-air activity to boost my PGA Tour Rainmakers collection
Yes.
while we're on air.
Okay.
So first, Kyle, tell me how you're gonna fix the elevated events next year.
Okay. Elevated events came out. A lot of people, and me included, did not like the fact that there was going to be a lot of no-cut events. It remains to be seen how many, but a substantial amount of no-cut events. So the whole point, like, I get it. Like, you got to have, they want to keep the cut, to keep the big names in play, keeps the casual fans. And I had some conversations this weekend that kind of reinforcement that not everyone's a golf sicko like us and really, enjoys the cut with them Friday. The TV partners want to make sure the big names are going to be there. I understand all that, but I think there's a way to make all parties happy, to keep a cut, but make it a little bit more dramatic, make it good for TV. Okay, so here is my proposal on how to do that. Open to feedback ideas. This may be awful. Thought about it for 5 minutes in the shower this morning, but it's what I came up with. So after Friday,
This
I
is
thought about something else.
yeah, this is okay. So this is what you do in the shower when you take long showers.
yeah,
You think about golf while you're
yes, 100%.
yeah
So-
playing with your putter.
Okay, we're gonna have a cut after Friday, so I'm assuming these are the 70-person fields. But instead of the standard top 65 ties, something along that lines, how we're gonna determine what the cut is we're gonna take the best score from Thursday and the median score from Thursday. That delta is gonna be number A. Come on, it's not that hard. And then Friday, do the same thing.
Okay.
That's gonna be number B. You add those two numbers together.
Why are these number A and number B?
Yeah.
Number T, number F, if you prefer. That's your cut number.
Okay. All
That's your
right.
cut number.
All right.
So then after Friday, whatever the leader's at, you take the cut number down. So if the leader's at -9, as we were last week, and the cut number would have been 14 in that scenario, anyone +4 are better, still good. They're still in the field. So it's not as extreme of cut as you have now. But what I'm trying to drive towards there is, can you imagine at end of day Friday, let's say the leader's still out there on the course and he has a putt to make to improve a stroke that could knock 4 guys out of the tournament. So you have a direct correlation to how somebody does. So like, let's say Rory is out there putting, and you can go to a room where James Hahn and Xander Schauffele are +4, and if Rory makes this putt, they're gone.
Yeah.
And therefore also not going to get paid.
That's interesting.
I like the drama.
There was I think the Masters is the only tournament that still uses a 10-stroke rule.
They got rid of that.
They got rid of it. Oh, you're right. They did get rid of it in the last couple of years. So that was always there. That would always seem to grab more players, though. Right? This would actually eliminate players if a leader had a bigger lead.
Correct. And what we're trying to get to is like the guys that are statistically not able to win the tournament. So maybe there's a better way to figure out that formula. But then I would do the same thing on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So you could cut it twice, and you might not have anyone get cut. I mean, if everyone's bunched up, but if this way you're driving people to stay engaged. I don't know if anyone watched the broadcast of Sunday morning, but John Rahm was just, and granted he had made the cut, but by Sunday he was
sure
it didn't matter to him anymore.
Sure.
So that was the big complaint of the old, elevated events, WGC stuff, as people are guaranteed paychecks. No one's guaranteed now. They still got at least perform to an extent. And I would do the same thing on Saturday, like I said. And like last week, that would have cut 7 guys: Will Gordon, Davis, Thompson, Grayson Sigg, Shane Lowry, Greg Choke, and David Lingmer on Saturday. So that's my.
It's interesting that when I said I had an idea too, that's not where I was going. I do like the double cut idea. I liked. Talking about 70-person field, right? 70, is that right?
Yep.
So I like the idea of cutting from 70 to 50, and then 50 to 35 or something like that. But I was almost thinking, could I just pay the guys that missed that in those cut waves? Could I just pay them all the same amount and just basically give them some peanuts? Thanks for showing up. Here's your guaranteed money.
Here's your travel expense.
Here, we're going to cover it, but and here's a little bit on top. But if you get cut in either of those waves, everyone gets the same amount. And then you're left with, I like the idea of getting to a really small group of guys on Sunday and say, okay, you guys are playing for the prize.
And it eliminates some of the other factors that the tour is up against too. So Sunday, if you have a storm come through, and you're finishing on Monday, they lose what they're trying to go for anyway. You end up with 40 guys going into Sunday. That's a better product.
You guys, way too complicated.
Well, no,
way too. Letter L and letter 7. That minus 16% on Tuesdays.
It does
15%.
So would you do?
You sent an original one that was just all right, cut, done.
Well,
right? Just do a Saturday cut and a Sunday cut, and end up with.
That's what we're doing. You need a formula to get there.
That's people don't understand that. People don't want that.
They don't have to see that.
We're
dumb.
People are dumb.
That part. They could just be like, hey, if he makes this putt, it's +3. If he doesn't, it's +4.
We haven't talked about the Pine de Palm in a long time, but if you play really bad at the Pine de Palm, not in the championship division, but in the other flights, you played really bad, they let you go play the rest of the tournament across the street at the executive course.
That's hilarious.
So what if the players that get cut at the big events, they just go play the shitty course at these resorts.
Have a consolation bracket.
They got to go play, and if the fans really want to go see John Rahm play the par 3 at Bay Hill, they can go watch him play that on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, and then that could be the Red Zone channel, where you only show the best shots.
Well, that's essentially what the broadcast is now.
And it's all it's all par 3s or drivable par 4s. That would be pretty fun.
All right.
I think it's a decent idea.
There's going to be 10 more months of debate, and then we'll get to an answer. All right. So before we're still marching along here to get to the Arnie. What I want to do this because we talked about rainmakers, and the more I think about it, the more this is not our audience. I don't think our audience is playing too many rainmakers, but if you're intrigued, I'm intrigued. Jordan's intrigued, kind of. Kyle is not intrigued. Kyle's intrigued a little bit.
Well, I entered one free one. That's all I.
So DraftKings, you go out there and do that. If anyone is interested in just how this works, DraftKings is giving everybody what they call a starter set, and there will be one starter contest, I think, every week. And so essentially, you get 8 player cards for free, and you can go submit a lineup of 5 of those players to play in the starter contest. And that's what we all did. Now, fortunately, I got 2 Grayson Siggs in my starter pack.
You're set.
Do they tell you number? And you're
they do. I think so. So
it's a lot.
There's a lot. Keep in mind, there's a lot of these. And if you're playing at the level, so there's various levels of cards, right? If you're playing at the lower levels, don't expect to win a lot of money.
Any money.
Or any money, really, is gambling. And honestly, I'm just here to explore and learn about the process a little bit. So what I'm gonna do, I told you guys I'd be willing to spend a little bit of money to try to like figure out how this works. So I have my 8 cards I got in my starter pack. I bought one more last night because I wanted to see how like the secondary market worked.
Okay.
Who do you think I bought?
Oh, Tom Hogan.
I already said
Yeah,
Tom Hoagie.
obviously. I think
Did you buy a rare?
No, I bought a
super
core.
rare?
A core.
Oh, no.
So what are the differences?
So
and 20 seconds or less. The core, rare.
There are 5 levels: core, rare, elite, legendary, rainmaker. There are player cards at every level. Every player is at every level, and that correlates to the contest you can enter. So if you want to play in it for $1 million contest, you got to have rainmaker. You have to have a certain number of rainmaker cards in your lineup. And those rainmaker cards are probably going to cost you $800 to $1,000 or so or more on the secondary market.
Jeez.
Right? So these are whales that are going to gobble these up and try to play for big pools. If you want to play at the core level, you can play in a $10,000 contest, winner taking home $1,000. Your cards are going to cost you anywhere from 50 cents to $50 maybe.
Okay. And what and when Tom cost you?
Tom cost me 16. I first saw him at 12. He went up to 16. Yep.
Just light your money
Just
on
light
fire.
my money for. I'm probably selling back to the market for like $12 right now. But you know what? I mean, how could I not have Tom Hoagie as in my wallet? But here, I'll buy. Let me buy.
That is a way different beer. Holy cow!
Well, we'll get to it. Here's just for the fun of this, I'm gonna buy a booster pack for $22.
Okay.
I get 3 players.
All right, core players again.
Core players, although I can get a rare, but I'm just gonna play at core level anyways. You can always play the cards down for less money. So I'm gonna buy this. I fully intend to get a Rich Beam
and a Grayson
Sig and like a Bernhard Longer. Right? That's what I'm gonna get. So that, like, talk about lighting money on fire. That's exactly what I'm gonna do right here. Fortunately, I could probably get maybe about 20% of this back. But there we go. 1 click, I got it. I'm gonna go and look to see what I got. Looks like we got a Cameron Champ.
Hey-oh.
Ouch.
Cameron Champ. I got
you're scrolling by a lot of people not saying their names.
It's for some reason it's mixed in with I gotta find. It's mixed in with my
your other purchases.
No, just the footballs.
Oh yeah, you can do
there's golf at the top, I think.
Yeah. I'm having trouble seeing it. Why can I not see what I got? All right, I'll come back to
as
this.
Mike figures this out. We're watching the Wild game in the background here, so if you see us cheering, that's what we're 0-0.
Really
Anyways, the rest of I have a JT, I have a Cantlay, I have Webb Simpson.
Yeah, I do like. Can we talk about Mike's instant reaction? Oh, Jordan won.
Yeah,
you got fucking Patrick Cantlay.
You got a way better.
So in the starter pack, they allow you to pick your stud. You can pick Colin, Rory, Scotty, Rahm, or JT, and then you get them plus 7 more players. And my logic was JT was probably the least desirable, so I thought they'd rig it to give like the Rahm and Rory and Scotty packs, crap. And so I got Cantlay and JT. I feel like for Sawgrass, that's going to be a pretty decent start there.
Not bad.
You got.
I got 2 Grayson Sigs. Remember that part?
Yeah. On fire.
All right. As I research this, maybe I'll make another purchase at some point in the evening.
So you can't figure out how to get to what you buy?
You keep leading the podcast because I don't do anything.
It's not showing all my cards. That's my point. All right. Let's talk about the Arnold Palmer. So
shoot, I just bought another one.
That's all right. You buy whatever you want. It just comes out of my DraftKings account. I can just make that money back anyways. Let's talk about the Arnold Palmer because I think my takeaway was and this was the same at the week before this is the same at the previous 2 Elevate events. The Elevate events are working, right? The stars are showing up. The guys are playing well. The field isn't, there isn't as much randomness, and so you're seeing these guys play well. But it's not always the same guys. Like I know Scotty's been up there, but like Rahm, he was gone after round 1. But you're seeing Hatton show up. You're seeing different guys show up, but it's always the studs. And then you get Kitayama that tried to go away, and he didn't. And it was funny.
2 out of bounds drives?
He had 2 out of bounds drives this week. It was funny because I asked you guys who you're cheering for. Maybe you in basically I said studs, you said studs, and Jordan said no.
I always root for
Well,
the underdogs.
You said studs from a pure, you wanted them to win. I said my rooting interest was based on my money interest. And then Jordan just answered Kittyama.
and Harris English.
And Harris English. Who no one was rooting for Harris English. Because no one batted him, no one played him and one and done.
Harris English to win.
Is it doorknob? I don't know.
His shot out of the bunker on what's the par 5, 15 to go for it over the water. That was
16,
pretty.
yeah.
16. That was pretty crazy. I think in general, like Kittyama winning was great though. You had all the studs up there, but we've had 2 studs win the first one. I think it's good to have
to show it's possible.
To show it's possible, especially with all the changes going on and stuff. To say, hey, just get into the event and look what it can happen. And it's just, I don't know. I like the underdog story sometimes, especially from a betting standpoint. We just have had so much chalk. Of course, this week I wasn't on Kittyama. I've played him plenty, especially from a first round leader perspective. But it's nice to say, hey, I'm not just throwing money away when I'm going down board every week because I like to bet that way. So I enjoyed it. The elevated events, yeah, it's been great so far.
He's played on 11 tours, although some of those tours are the same tour that just had changed names. But
I did see that list. That was crazy.
He's been around. Like he's not a rookie. He's been around. He's traveled the world, and I guess it is cool. Like I don't know his story that well, so it was hard for me to get there like rooting for him as a fan. I was definitely rooting for, JT and Scotty and those guys, but maybe he'll stick around and have a little bit of staying power here. I'm sure he'll carry. I think it's interesting. I think if the pricing had been done for the players after the Arnie versus before, you would have seen him jump up a little bit. But
for sure, I think he's 66 or 6800.
Yeah, he would have been like mid 7s. But
for sure,
we'll get to that in a second. Anything else? I mean, the course is. I didn't realize like the last several years watching this golf tournament, like how hard this golf course is until last year and this year, and like really appreciate like how hard greens are so hard, so fast.
Yeah, I never watched it as close as we do now with what we do, but I enjoy it. I mean, 6 is a fun hole, and just seeing the different lines guys take and the nuance of where you can just make the curve.
It's not showing up.
Okay,
it's kind of like I had the issue.
Oh, initially when you bought him yesterday.
Actually, let me try something.
All right, Jordan's working on my phone.
Where if you just cut the curve, you have to carry it. Well, like where Ron went in the water on Sunday.
You have to open it.
Oh, there we go.
That was my issue yesterday. You get the pack, and then you have to go somewhere else and actually click open.
Yeah.
Here we go. Sorry, we're going back to reveal the cards. Keith Mitchell. That's a good guess.
Keith Mitchell.
Dylan Wu.
Woo!
Woo! Dylan Wu. And Justin Sue, who honestly I was considered buying anyways for like $5 or $6. So I guess
I might have bet on him this week.
Who's your 4th?
It's only 3.
Oh, who's your rare? I thought you got 3 2 cores in a rare.
No, it's like 2.5 cores, half a rare per pack. So you might get 3 cores.
Hey,
you might get 1 rare.
You'll
so
take
did you get 3
3
cores?
I did, yeah. Sue, Wu, and Mitchell.
So if you buy another one, you're guaranteed a rare, pretty much.
Yeah.
You should just buy another.
I would go. See, this is where like ripping packs, I think, is not the way to go unless you really spend a lot of money. I'd rather just go spend.
Target certain guys.
Target certain guys. Like I felt like I got at least $20 of value in this pack.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen every time. I could have got Rich Beam.
Yeah.
So.
Which. Some of the people.
Some people have to lose. This is gambling. Some people have to lose.
You can put shitty golfers that still play golf. Rich Beam doesn't even play golf.
I know.
Ricky Barnes.
Yeah.
Like some of the names out there, they're literally just like, fuck you all.
No. We'll be following this. And it's gonna be fun until I realize no one can actually win in PGA Rainmakers. But all right. Other thoughts on Arnie. So just to wrap up some of the RTG stuff, we had our listener league. J.M. Newberg winning. I don't think I've called his name in the top spot. So congrats to J.M. Newberg. Arano M2, 2nd week in a row at 2nd place, and A.J. Bentley having a great winter season, finishing in 3rd. Lineup results. Finally, our model the cohort that we like to focus on, the 25% mention share or above players. There were 13 of them last week. 12 made the cut. So we had been like hovering around like 50-60%, which is well below our target. 93% make the cut. The bad was my guy Tom Hoagie going 6 over on his last 4 holes to miss the cut by 1, which included a triple on 6. And I had him in my 20 max core. And honestly, like I literally could have picked any other golfer in that top range and I would have had a much better week. My week was still good, but like I would have had a much better week.
It should have been a better week for me as well. Looking at the results, I went a little light on Rory. I'd been high on him at Riv and it didn't quite pay out. I was high on him in Phoenix and it didn't quite pay out. So probably a little gun shy there. I had plenty of Hatton, but the model had everything there for the taking. If you just hammered it, you did well in a cash lineup. We should say though, like it was a very chalky week as well.
A lot of ownership made the cut. So it wasn't just finding, those mention share plays. You had to find the specific MPI plays as well. It was interesting I think Rom was around 22% in the bigger GPP contests we were in. The one larger double up or cash contest I was in, he was below 10.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 8%, I think, which was frustrating because he then played really poorly.
Yeah.
But I had a ton of leverage on him.
On Thursday, it looked great. Yeah.
It really did. Top expert of the week was Landon Selinsky over with DraftKings Nation. He had Rory Hatton and Tommy Fleetwood, so that was an excellent core. Pat James, Davis Riley has been told back to Pat James podcast and figure the only expert on him, and that paid off.
He switched caddies.
There we go.
Wow.
Look at that inside scoop. Kitayama unmodeled in the RTG model this week. So if any of you had shares of Kitayama, that was good for you.
I did not.
Do we know why Kitayama is doing better now also?
Switch caddies.
Did he really?
Yeah, he's got Bryson's old caddy.
Oh yeah, who's now won twice at the Arnie.
Yes, he said Kitayama said, I read the article, it said that he was misclubbed at Pebble. And he was not in he was up there. He wasn't at the top of the leaderboard, but he was up there and he was misclubbed at Pebble. And then he got done with the event and he said that's the last straw. And so he let his caddy go after that. So
you gotta be root-like.
He finished 29th at Pebble, 23 in Waste Management. So second to CJ Cup in the fall. It wasn't completely out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Last on Arnold Palmer, one and done.
Lots of money went out this week. No one had Kitayama because they're not an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, there are a few idiots in the league, and we'll get to them in a second. But 5 people had Rory, taking home 1.7 million.
And unfortunately, our leader also had Rory.
Yes,
sure.
Is that the same guy that actually organized the one and done league?
Yeah, it's like he was taking us all for a ride. I'm going to use my commissioner powers from now on just to look at his picks and pick them. But I also had Rory, so I'm pretty happy.
All right.
But yeah, there was a lot of money. There were 6-7 people that all had Scheffler, Cantlay, or Hatton for another 800,000.
Scotty missed that putt on 18 though.
Oh, that was an awful bogey on 18.
Yeah, that cost a lot of money.
I was very excited.
How did Keith Mitchell do?
Keith Mitchell, is he in here? I don't even see him.
Keith Mitchell.
I was pick fatigue at this point, and it was my fault for not doing my one and done pick earlier in the week. But I was like, I can't get there on any of the studs because it was like everyone was in play, and so I just went Keith.
Yeah.
Did he make the cut?
No, he finished like 30th maybe.
As long as we had 3 people pick Morikawa, and 1 picked Sam Burns, and they all got bent over behind the out in the alley. 2 of them are my invitees. So and Rock Chalk obviously plays in the listener league all the time. So good pick there, Rock Chalk. I think you're in about last place in the league.
And we got Greg Bentley there with Sam Burns.
Yeah, but yeah,
they got dead last.
So yeah, listener Derek has a $2.7 million lead.
Boy.
We need some dubs this week, guys.
Yeah.
Need some dubs.
Need some dubs. I need to not pick who he picks.
Yeah,
All right.
we
Well,
need to go get Bailey to go knock some kneecaps on Thursday after we
might.
figure out who Derek picked.
she might. All right. Well, let's talk about the Players Championship. Well, actually, before we do that, we're just guzzling beers here. So can we just take a second and talk about what we've been drinking? Because I don't even know.
Well, we've cracked 2 cans so far, right? What's the first one?
What was it? It was Black Stack.
Fade Away. You've had that on the pod.
Yep, yeah, Fade Away,
and
perfect.
Weldworks.
Yeah.
Really good.
And then we went to White Noise Hazy IPA from Talking Waters.
Yes.
Okay.
Talking Waters has some good ones. This one's
So,
has like an aggressive bite to it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But maybe it's hard
Following.
what works.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna slow it up a little bit with a little slow it up.
oh, I like.
Modist.
I'm a big
Oh.
fan of this one.
Oak Age Pilsner.
Yeah.
A little lighter. It's a little warm in here, so
It really gets warm.
They
I'm
do
gonna
a
open the
lot
door
of.
actually.
They do a lot of oak aged pilsners. They have these like oak foeders that they do a lot of their pilsners in, and I think it just gives the pilsner like a little bit of depth to it.
We have a couple in our fridge. I enjoy it. Oh, that feels delightful.
a little
It'll
change
cool it
in
down about
temperature.
10 degrees in here.
All right, TPC Sawgrass, Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, Pete Dye Classic course. So you know you go with the Pete Dye course. Kyle, what do you go with the Pete Dye course?
Positional golf. It asks a lot of different questions. Maybe you fade it off the tee. Maybe you don't fade it on the next shot.
Yeah, so this course, I think, is a top 7 course for strokes gained off the tee, and then another highly rated course for strokes gained approach. So basically, just really favors ball strikers. I think you can get away with a lot around the green. So you do end up with a lot of tight lies around some of these green complexes. So you want to be able to someone who's not a super nervy chipper, like, I don't know, Victor Hovland.
Correct, Colin Morcar. Hey, Hovland's going to win this week, everyone. That being said, it is a very volatile event. You have a lot of water in play, and like the last 2 winners, JT led the field in strokes gained tee to green and was 30th, I think, or so in putting and around the green. But last year, Cam Smith was not that great tee to green. I think he was maybe 30th or 25th or something in that general area, but dominated around the green and putting. So you can get there multiple ways. There's a lot of trouble. There's going to be carnage. There's going to be people missing cuts. It's not going to be like last week where you look at 6 to 6 percentages and it's 5 to 10%.
I think I heard a couple of interesting stats. One was that I think all winners the last, 10 years, they had missed a cut at this golf course in their previous 5 attempts or something like that. So it's like even the past champs are missing cuts at this golf course. You don't have like Bay Hill has course history that's like unparalleled, where it's like Rory doesn't play bad at Bay Hill, Hatton doesn't play bad at Bay Hill. Guys that have played well at Sawgrass play bad sometimes, and it's just because the draws are tough, the weather gets tough, the course is, like you said, volatile, and it's just going to be like plant some flags and hope you get it right this week.
I am changing my normal approach. We've talked a lot about cash game versus GPP strategy on here, and how I particularly like to play enough cash that if I just win a couple of my cash contests, it covers my GPP entries for the week. I am doing more GPP this week because it is so we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So staying in my one bigger cash contest, but not going multiple.
We do know what's going to happen. We have a model that tells us what's going to happen, Kyle.
Hashtag not experts. Can I go back to something? This is an Arnie tip I should have or an Arnie said I should have brought up, but I heard this on Gaiman's podcast earlier. Team No Putt Emiliano Grillo.
Oh yes. I text this today as well. It's great. Yeah.
He finished first in strokes gained tee to green and last in strokes gained putting. He gained like 10 strokes tee to green and lost 9 strokes putting. I don't even remember where he finished in the tournament.
I actually,
but that's incredible. Like, can you imagine like how frustrating of a week that is If it was the reverse and he had lost that many strokes tee to green and he had gained that many strokes putting, you would feel so much more accomplished as a player. But all he's doing is letting himself down every single hole.
So he made the cut. He finished T39. But yeah, he gained across the board. So tee to green, awesome off the tee, awesome approach. I was basically even around the greens and just gave it all away.
It's incredible for a guy that's known to be an awful putter. Like what a statistical accomplishment for a guy that already is like has the reputation to be terrible around the green. All right, coming back to the Players Championship, Kyle. We actually have quite a bit of content in. So how is the model looking?
I appreciate everyone getting up for the players, getting everything out early. Some of the ones that always come out on Wednesday are still out there, but yeah, it's quite a bit in at this point in time. Leading the way, and I'm just going to roll right into my first pick of the week with this one too, because I want to get it out of the way. But so far is Jason Day at 8K, 57% mention share, and a whopping perfect MPI at this point in time. So you gotta go to Day, right? I mean,
huge mention. Only 8K.
All the pricing came out last week.
It did, but I don't feel like his season should be dictated by just the Arnold Palmer.
I agree. Huge mention share, great MPI. Mike McClure and Brendan Godula are on him. He has 4 straight top 10s.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like throughout last week, he has 3 straight top 10s.
Yes.
He shouldn't be 8K in this field.
Still too light. He's won this event before. He has 4 top 10s here, even when he was not playing well. I mean, is this as much of a smash play as you could find?
I think it is, but is he going to be? And I know we don't care about ownership in anymore, but like, is he going to be less than 20% owned? Like, at that price, I got to imagine it's going to be.
Is it your one and done play?
I've already used him.
Yes,
at the Farmers.
I'm glad I don't have to.
Wild one.
Oh, they scored in overtime?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is so ripe for something to go wrong, but at this point, like in a cash contest, how can you not play him?
No, you're right.
So I'm going there. He will be part of my cash lineups. And Mike, who do we got next on the board? Because I accidentally just closed my tab.
I saw that. Well, to hit the top, you got Keegan Bradley, 7,500 at 47%. JT, 42%, as well as Keith Mitchell, 42%. Patrick Cantlay, 36% mention share. Rory McIlroy, 31%. And Victor Hovland, 31%. So, few studs in that group. And then not a few duds, although you get Keegan Bradley and Keith Mitchell at 75 and 7,400. That's where I don't understand some of the pricing here. Is that Jason Day has had a better season statistically than those guys, but like Keith Mitchell's been really good, and you're even getting a $600 price break off of Jason Day on Keith Mitchell. So I'm feeling like there's a lot of equity here at the top, and I think that's going to lead to chalk on some of these plays. But you're going to be able to make a nice lineup with just the guys that we're seeing coming in over about 30%.
Yeah, I think we should point out again too, when it comes down to chalk and some of these plays, Bradley, Day, they're going to be part of my cash lineups. They are not going to be part of my GPPs because, as we've talked about the carnage here before, and especially I forget who, I think it was actually Mayo's article in DK Nation, breaks down by the last couple of years and what percent in the 9K and 10K tiers who actually won or who scored the best.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 out of the last 3 years, the highest scoring 9K guy has been one of the bottom 2 owned 9K guys.
Yeah. And there's been some weird weather stuff. I know that was last year, right? When the weather got really, really goofy, but I agree. Like you shouldn't worry. I mean, make sure you're lining up your contests with the right players. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of really good options, and the soft pricing certainly helps with that. I think it's crazy that Rahm is 11.8 in this field, and we're seeing him check in right now 26%. Really not topping the model by any means, but 11.8. He's more expensive than he was last week, and I feel like this is a worse fit for him
They saw the
there's-
Thursday score and then released the price.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
that had to be what happened. Like
Mhm.
because the pricing I think came out on Friday, and so they must have
Yeah.
looked at it and said, "Oh my God, this guy is untouchable."
Yeah.
And I think I honestly like you want to talk about. I think he's so high that you could use him as a pivot.
I agree. I don't think a whole lot of people will go there because it's going to be tough to build out from there. And that's one thing that's a little unique in the model this week is there is a lot of value at the top. I mean, after you hit on, Mike, below that is a couple more 7K guys before you get through.
Don't forget, yeah, and don't forget my new guy in my wallet, Rainmakers, Justin Sue, is creeping up there with 26% of the mention share right now. So
Wait, did you have Dylan Wu or Kevin Yu?
it was Brandon Wu.
Brandon Wu. There is a Dylan Wu, right?
Dylan Wu, that's what I have.
Oh, okay. Is there a Brandon Wu also?
There is. I know it's tough to keep track of.
All right,
Also
back to the rest.
Also, the Wilds goal got called back.
Yes, they got
You
five
guys,
sides.
if
Spurgeon
you're
was
if you're
offside.
watching this on YouTube, I have my back to the TV, and
Yeah.
these guys are reacting, and I'm doing my best to just kind of like keep the show going.
Yeah.
All right, let me. So, Kyle, do you want to give off a couple of other plays? You want me to go?
Yeah, I'll finish mine. I don't think we have overlap here. So, we've talked about Keegan Bradley, 7,400, a lot of mention share, good MPI. Again, Gadula's on him, Geevers is on him. He hasn't had a missed cut here since 2015. We talk about that's about as good as consistency as you're gonna find. He has 3 top 20s and a 5th in that time frame. So again, of somewhere to look cash, and he is not on my betting card this week, and I have a little bit of FOMO there. It is a play a lot of people have in the market, and that's really driven the number down. And then we talked about him with our boots on the ground out there, but Chris Kirk 7,900, Spencer at Rotoballer, Aldrich at Fanshare, and hey, it's a Florida swing, so I'm still on the Chris Kirk train.
No reason not to. Like, this is a great example of like, and he did not play well through the weekend. Had a great opening round at Arnold, but it's a good example of a guy's playing really well, and he's clearly found something. He's got the win. He's had a couple of nice weeks. It's like, why wouldn't you just keep playing him in a place where you know he's really comfortable? I think on 7,900, that's again, like you have Jason Day, 8,000, Chris Kirk, 7,900. Feels like that gap should be bigger, but Chris Kirk's been playing really well, and you'll be kicking yourself when he finishes top 20, and you'll say, why didn't I go there? It was so obvious. He's been playing great golf.
Yep, just trying to find some safety.
Yeah. I'll toss in, JT is a guy that I would have earmarked for this tournament at the beginning of the year. JT's played mostly awful. He starts to find it. JT's the kind of guy that appears he wants to work hard for his good rounds. And so when the conditions are tough or when the situation is tough, I mean, think back to the PGA, he's down 7 shots going to the back 9. He wants to work hard. He had that round, was that the Players last year during the awful Saturday when it was super windy, when everyone else was bombing out, he shot 69 or something, and it was by far the best round of the day. I'll have to check in on the weather. I think I go JT if I think it's going to be a tough condition. He likes the adversity. And then Patrick Cantlay's really seemed to come on as well, and he's had a good history here too. I like getting Patrick Cantlay at 7,900, and I like getting Justin Thomas at 9,400. Like, I can start a lot of lineups that way, and I don't have to go touch the guys that are way above 10K.
One thing on Cantlay, do you know how many cuts in a row he's missed at the Players Championship?
3.
Correct. But before that, he was 23rd and 22nd.
Yeah.
So
he's been playing well. This is not a great course for him, but like we said, it's really tough to trust that course history. Jordan, anyone else you want to throw in?
Looking down the line here, I was more in the 15 to 20% range. Homa's been playing well. I always just like Seamus Power.
Yeah,
Like,
you were on an island with that, aren't you?
He's
Last
and
year-
he's only 7,400. He had a really good start to last year, and he's like hasn't played bad.
his big events last year, he was great. The first 3 majors last year, he was.
Yeah. So hoping, even though he made the cut and then finished dead last week. But and then a little bit of Tom Kim also kind of put together a decent round. And then Ricky's playing well. Is Ricky back? Did he get a new caddy?
He's back. He did get a new caddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
we don't need to.
And-
Where do all these out of work caddies go?
Yeah.
They go to Whisper Rock and they go to
Live.
Bandon.
They go to Live.
They go to Live.
On the Seamus Power, just to finish that note, so he's 33rd at the Players last year, 27th at the Masters, 9th at the PGA, 12th at the U.S. Open, and then I'm pretty sure I got on the pod and pimped him up for the Open Championship, and he missed the cut.
Where are we? So before we talk about tiers, where are you at on Xander Schauffele? Checking in at 5% mention share early, but he's not going to get much higher than that at this point.
No, he's in no man's land from a price perspective. He's at
10K.
10K, and people are either going to go above him or jump to the nines and go 2 nines. So if you're looking for a guy, I don't think people are going to play. I think that's going to be Xander.
Any issues with his game though? Like I don't think there's any reason to think he would play poorly here. It's just you think it's all price driven?
I think it's price driven and just his form relative to some of the others isn't up there, and I'm pretty sure he's also missed 3 straight cuts here.
Okay.
I'm really excited for him next year in those designated events with no cuts. Just fucking Xander all day.
I think just his history is crazy though. He hasn't missed a cut since the Masters. 5th, 13th, 18th, 14th, 1st, 15th, 57th, 3rd, 4th, 9th, 3rd, 13th, 10th, 33rd, 39th.
Wow.
You want to pivot this week? Might be it. All right, Kyle, do you have an update on tiers? Because then I want to do name game. I'm pretty pumped.
I think there's a lot of good selections in tiers this week. I think the one place that is going to be a little harder, and this actually talks about one of my plays, but is tier 5. So far in the model, we have Chris Kirk, Corey Connor, Shane Lowry, and Sahith Theegala. If you don't want to go to Kirk, and that's where I'm looking to at this point in time, I don't really like the course fit for any of those other guys. I think you can squint and see it from Lowry, but talk about a guy that also does not have great history here. And Theegala, I just don't like the course for him. And you're going to at least have to putt a little bit. I know Connor's popped for a little bit last week, but I think you got to go Kirk, but I don't really like the other options around that. I will backtrack a little bit on Lowry. He has a 8th and a 13th the last 2 times out, but he also has 3 missed cuts in his career.
All right. Name game. I teased it out.
Wait, hold on. Who won last week's?
Well, that's what I'm getting to. I teased it out.
I just wanted to check. I wasn't sure who won it.
Yeah, Jordan, you won it. You won it. You hung with me in my Michael Bay directs the Honor Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill. And you hung with me. You had Ricky Fowler, aka Mr. Furious. I felt pretty good. I had Shane Lowry, aka Mike Lowry, and Ricky Fowler edged him by just a handful of DK points. Listeners coming in last though. But that's Jordan extends his lead.
So wait, the 2 people you guys picked for came in last and next to last.
Yeah. If you show up to the pod, I get when we have like hey, I'm gonna be gone for work next week. Let's make some arrangements. But when you get like the 502, hey, I got a better offer. You get
wasn't a better offer.
Why did you go then?
Had to.
Oh, you know what? It was his son's birthday.
Had to. So you had to take those free tickets.
I did, because they were specifically offered for said birthday.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you a chance, Kyle. I'm going to give you a chance to make it up.
Okay.
What is your favorite Jacksonville, Florida-based band?
Good one, Mike.
Am I supposed to know bands from Jacksonville, Florida?
Hold on, let me Google. I'll give you options.
There's only one.
Is Florida Georgia Line?
There's only one.
They're not my favorite band.
Limp Bizkit.
Oh yeah, Fred Durst.
Lynyrd Skynyrd. Or Shinedown.
Oh, man.
There's only one. Which one are you leaving off? Lynyrd Skynyrd or Limp Bizkit?
Go Shinedown.
I don't think that Limp Bizkit is notably Jacksonville, Florida. It's Leonard Skinner. It's Limp Bizkit is notably Jacksonville. Anyways,
Is an American
should have
rock
known-
band
I should have
formed
known
in
that, my bad.
Jacksonville, Florida.
all right. Well, there are 4 other
Look at this guy.
bands.
Google really struggles
Yeah.
with Google.
There are
Michael
4.
Bay.
I didn't even Google it. There are 4 other bands playing in the Jacksonville area this week.
We didn't ask Bailey who played at their concert.
Chainsmokers.
Oh, really?
No, but I think they played last year, right?
I don't know.
They no, it was
38 specials from Jacksonville too. Yeah.
I-
Yellow
I-
card.
all right.
I don't know who either of those two are.
All right,
so I skipped
guys.
them.
Guys, here we go.
Oh,
So
sorry,
there's 4
sorry.
other bands playing in the area this week.
Okay.
There's
all right.
4 other bands playing in the area this week. And you know what? It's crazy. All 4 of those bands are made up of guys that are also playing in the golf tournament.
That
Ah.
It's crazy. So you have
crazy.
12 players that are going to moonlight as rock stars in Jacksonville before they get started on Thursday.
That's
Sounds
aggressive.
great.
So, Kyle, would you go see
Forgot about it.
the Back Nine Bandits, a jam band that is fronted by Trey Mullinax?
That's my wife's favorite band.
Mhm. Featuring Trey Mullinax, Max McGreevy, and Ryan Palmer. You could check out the emo band. This might be up your alley. The
It
emo
might be.
emo band Going Pro,
Ooh, I get
which
that.
is Nick Hardy, JJ Spawn, and Dylan Fratelli, fresh off his stint with the Fratellis. You could maybe check out Acapella if that's more your thing. Party of 3, that's Lee Hodges, Garrick Higo, and Ryan Brem. And then the ska punk band, if you just really need to mosh, the Worm Burners, JT Poston, David Lingmerth, and Matthias Schwab. All these guys between 6 and 7K. Lots of different music out there. So Kyle, I'm giving you first pick. Since
Okay.
frustrated with your play last week.
It makes sense that Lingmerth, a Swedish guy, is part of the ska band. I think, oh man, I think you're right. I am gonna go with. I'm going pro. I'm going emo.
All right.
Give me a Hardy, Spawn, and Fratelli. I haven't seen much. This could be a JJ Spawn course.
All right. You know what, Jordan? I'll let you. You won last week. I'll give you second pick.
Who played? Who
You
we got?
Get the Back Nine Bandits, Party of 3, or the Worm Burners.
Who are the Back Nine Bandits again? I'm pretty sure I'm gonna pick them.
Mullinax, McGreevy, and Palmer.
Oh, they suck.
Mm.
Well, all these guys kind of suck.
Who was the second one?
God, you know, there's an agenda document that you can open where all this
Really?
information is available. Party of 3, Lee Hodges, Garrick Higo, Ryan Brem. The
Ugh.
Worm Burners, JT Poston, David Lingberth, and Matthias
I
Schwab.
take back my second comment. Obviously, JT Poston doesn't suck.
Wait, who's the first one again?
Oh my
I'm
God.
kidding. I want the Back Nine Bandits. That's for you, Rachel.
Oh God.
I'm safe. She has never once listened to this.
I'm taking the Worm Burners, the ska punk band, and that leaves the a cappella trio, Lee Hodges, Higo, and Brem to the listeners. Really kind of fun. That's you know.
I enjoy it.
All right, Kyle. Last comments. You talked about a bet you may or may not already have out there. Justin Sue. Who else is on your card this week?
I have a little bit of a different card. So first off, I took 2 guys on future bets, like because the players was posted for a while. So I got Siwoo Kim at 100-1, even though I think now he's like 60. I also took Tom Kim at 35, thinking I would get ahead of the market there. Well, it turns out that one backfired a little bit because you could have got him at 40 this week. I also took Colin Morikawa at 28, Davis Riley at 180. And then I split up my last 3 units with some bombs. I have your boy Justin Saw at 21.
I said Sue. It is you're right.
At 2100. Taylor Montgomery 180 and Webb Simpson at 140. Backed all those
Good
up.
numbers.
Yeah,
Webb Simpson. You're really.
He had 6 straight birdies on Sunday.
I know.
Maybe he can keep it rolling. Former champ here. You don't need length. All right, let's go. Backed all those up with place bets and first round leaders.
I was gonna make a very inappropriate joke, and I'll wait till we're done.
So I didn't get to. I almost hit Puerto Rico last week. Got
You didn't have Nico Echevarria, huh?
no. I had Akshay
Batia.
Batia. finished. He was second out the first round and second overall. Didn't hit anything last week as outside of some place bets, but also did have Billy Ho at the previous event before that.
At the Honda.
Yes.
All right. Well, good stuff. I mean, I'm cheering for you. Let's round out my Rainmaker's wallet here. If you got one other guy you think he has a decent shot this week, we want to find someone at $8-9. We got Davis Riley. Oh man, Tom Hoagie I can get for $9 right now.
Really?
You know what?
Purchase?
Yeah.
Last night I was sitting there and I was like, I gotta have it just for the guys on the pod, but
What's the old Keegan Bradley?
Bradley was up there. I mean, Kirk Kitayama, $13 here. Taylor Montgomery, 14. Chris Kirk, $15.
Chris Kirk's not a bad it.
Do you think? But so thinking about the investment down the road, like, is Chris Kirk a guy that you see having?
You're probably at the peak there. What about Seamus Power?
Seamus Power's in here. He's kind of right around the same amount. Yeah,
I've got one of him.
1468. Yeah, send it on over. Okay, maybe we'll talk about this offline. We'll get another pick in.
Kramer Hickok?
Yeah, I kind of like. So I'd like to go find a couple of scrubs for like $2-3 and just see what happens.
That's what it's all about. You gotta get them while they're
buy low, sell high. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
All right.
What about Jordan's boy Pearson Cootie?
Oh man, he can't even buy him, but I can get Rich Beam. All right, we'll wrap it up. We'll talk Rainmakers offline. Of course, you can find our content every Wednesday. Our pods drop on any of the major podcast platforms and on our YouTube channel. Follow us all week on Twitter at RTG Podcast DFS. We'll be back in a week with the results of the Players Championship and preview the Valspar. See ya.